Hey y'all, it's Chrissy O here from Chrissy O's Clucky Chronicles YouTube channel and ChrissyOShow.com. We are back and I sure am glad to see y'all here. Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, Chrissy, what on earth are we talking about duck wings today? What are we doing that for? Well, bless your heart, this is going to be a tough one, but it's a necessary one. We're talking about what to do when one of your sweet ducks gets a wingding boo-boo. Oh yeah, wingdings are important for ducks. Now, it's a moment literally that can make your heart sink right down to your boots. But don't worry, we're going to get through it together. We're going to cover how to spot an injury, what to do first, how to give them their little medicine, and how to keep them safe while they're on the mend. It's all about good old-fashioned TLC when you're dealing with homestead, farm life, backyard enthusiast, whatever you want to call it. So first of all, we're going to be talking mainly about Sherrie Dee duck. Now, if you haven't already figured it out, Sherrie Dee duck is my Indian runner. She's one of two. She has a hatchmate sister who is a chocolate Indian runner named Monique. But we're talking about Sherrie Dee. So, backstory on Sherrie Dee. She's a famous duck opera singer, y'all, with the National Duck Opera Society. She's got a beautiful alto voice, and she most recently appeared on stage with Duckiano Duckarati. I'm for sure you've heard of him, in the wonderful opera I Ate Madame Butterfly. Now, she's seldom home as she's consistently touring the country. She's promoting her newly released self-written and composed opera, Lady Duckbeth. You might have heard of her. She wears lavish opera ball gowns and expects at least 24 marigolds after each performance, along with mealworms. Now, in her dressing room, her contract states that she must have her very own private pool and cabana drake. We're talking about Sherrie Dee today. What happened is Sherrie Dee took a bad, nasty little fall out there in the yard because it's been raining out here in eastern North Carolina like we live in England or something. But all this clay, dirt, and all this mess here, it has been absolutely awful, just ridiculous. So she got a boo-boo. We had to take her to the vet. The vlog has already been posted on that. Go check it out. But here we go. Let's talk about these things. We're going to talk about spotting a wing injury and making gentle approaches to your floofs, okay? Especially in Sherrie Dee's case. First things first, you want to be able to make sure to spot the trouble, okay? Now, let me tell you, ducks, they're mighty good at hiding it when they're not feeling too hot, okay? They're prey animals, so it's their natural instinct to fake it till you make it. But if you know what to look for, you can kind of catch it early. You got to keep an eye out for a wing that's drooping lower than the other. Case in point, here we go. Here's Sherrie Dee. There it is. We're like, hey, wait a minute. That don't look right. Or maybe you got a duck that's holding its wing at a funny angle. Now, they might be reluctant to move it or use that wing because they might, they can't, whatever. You might even see swelling or even a visible wound with a bone or something sticking out. Sometimes they can be a little bit off balance and waddle like a cowboy or be a little bit lopsided or like they're drunk almost. So if you suspect you got an injury in your duck, you got to approach them as calm as a cucumber, y'all. Don't make no sudden movements, no chasing them. Get down on their level, talk to them as soft as you can. Especially if they're not really friendly ducks and they're skittish. But just see if you can gently get a hold of them. And when you do, you got to make sure that you're supporting their whole body. Because the last thing you want to do is cause more stress or more pain or more injury. It might have some internal issues you don't even know about. So you might want to even use a nice soft beach towel to wrap them up. We call this a duck burrito. Let me tell you, it keeps them snug and secure. We didn't have that problem with Sherrie Dee. She literally came to us screaming, hollering, and crying. And she was like, Mommy, there's something wrong. She was literally begging to be picked up. Not all ducks are going to do that. I mean, it's just ours because we're fortunate enough to have good babies that we've hand-raised. Now, the vet visit, to me, that's your duck's best friend. not to everybody, and that's your own opinion. You can do whatever it is you feel like you need to do for you and your floof, okay? So now once you got your little duck patient together like we did with Sherrie Dee, the next thing you got to do, just get on the phone. If you don't know what to do, you don't have x-ray machines and you don't know how to handle it, and you feel like it's something much bigger than what you can deal with, this ain't the time to play doctor. Not for me. Now, I don't know about you. You might be good at these things. That's fabulous. I'm happy that you're good at those things. Not me. I was a people nurse, not an animal nurse. I'm learning over all these years as I go, but I still don't trust myself with a wing ding boo-boo. You know what I mean? So, I don't play doctor. I just called a vet. So, for any type of suspected broken wing or serious injury, called a vet. It's an experienced person with poultry or exotic birds, that kind of thing. They're the experts. They went to school for all that, not me. And then they're going to be able to tell me exactly what I'm dealing with. And they'll tell you too. So, it might be something simple, like a sprain. It might be a break, like Sherrie Dee has, that needs to be fixed and set. And the only way to know for sure is to do an x-ray. Okay? So when you take your duck to the vet, just make sure you got yourself a secure carrier. Unlike Sherrie Dee's case, we were able to carry her in her blankie and her pads so she didn't poo-poo all over us and everything else. You know how that goes with ducks. Now, you can use a dog or cat carrier. That works just fine. Just make sure you're putting like a nice soft towel or bedding on the bottom of it, or one of those absorbent pads, and just make sure it's dark and quiet for them, because it's going to help them keep them quiet, but it's going to keep them from getting, too agitated and hurt themselves even further on the ride over there. All right. So now when you get there, you guys all know that vet's going to examine them. You give them the full scoop of what you know. Even if you don't know anything, it's cool. They're used to picking out puzzles. It ain't like when a duck gets hurt, they're going to come up to you like a child and say, "Hey, Mommy, I fell down, skinned my knee." You don't know. I don't speak duck. Maybe you do, but whatever. Give the vet the full scoop. They're likely going to do like they did with Sherrie Dee with us. I can't guarantee this. Depends on the situation, right? So, like with Sherrie Dee, they gave her some antibiotics and some pain meds with anti-inflammation stuff in it because she did have inflammation. So, she's got painkiller, anti-inflammatory, and antibiotics. And, that is going to be the next big challenge that we talk about coming up right now, is the art of giving medicine to a duck. Because first of all, let me tell you, I don't have sick or injured ducks. This is my first one being, injured or whatever have you. Mostly ducks are pretty daggone resilient. They're great floofs to have, and I love having them here on the little farmyard. But giving a chicken medicine, I can do that all day long. Turkey, guinea, bobwhite quail, any of those floofs, yeah, I got you. I can do that all day long. Band your little legs. I can do all kinds of things. But when it comes to giving a duck a medicine, let me tell you, that's an art form that I had to learn from our wonderful vet, Dr. Montgomery. So I'm just going to tell you, it's an art form, and it's not something they're going to line up for, okay? But you got to have patience, and you got to have a few tricks up your sleeve to make it work, like they taught us yesterday. So now, first off, we're going to talk about liquid medication from a syringe. Now, you want to make sure that your duck is secured. Maybe you want to put them in a duck burrito. If you have to secure them, if they're kind of like skittish or wild. Sherrie Dee, we didn't have any problems with that. It was a 2-man job. Okay, so you want to make sure gently to open their little beak from the side, and you want to make sure that you place the syringe on their little mouth. Do not put it straight down their throat. All holes lead to different places. Don't do that. We were instructed by the vet yesterday to make sure just to put it on their little tongue, so when she opens her mouth, we squirt a little bit, she'll swallow it. Open her little mouth again, squirt a little bit in there on that tongue, she swallows it down. Just push a little bit of the medicine in a little bit at the time and let them swallow it. You ain't got to honk it all down. Plus, if you do that, you're going to put things in places that don't belong, like respiratory places, air holes. You just don't want to do that. You want to make sure that they're swallowing the medication and their little tongue is putting it where it needs to be. You got to do it in very tiny amounts. You don't want them to choke. Slow and steady wins the race. So you're going to have to take your time. And once they've taken it all, you give them extra snackies, let them go, let them do what they need to do because they do appreciate the comfort. Liquid medicine to me was a little bit easier to give Sherrie Dee than it was having to crush up a pill or a tablet. So if you do got a pill or a tablet like we do, we got a half a tablet to give her twice a day. Let me tell you, don't shove it down their throat. It's not a dog. That is a recipe for absolute disaster. And this comes from the vet. I'm just relaying the professional information, okay? The best way that they told us to do it is get you one of those little pill crushers or one of those little mortar and pestle things. They're cheap. It's a lifesaver. I've got one. Great. You want to crush the pill first into a fine powder, and then you want to mix it with something that they just cannot resist to eat. How we've been giving Sherrie Dee her crushed up pill medication that she's taking every last drop is we mash up fresh watermelon or we put it into her mashed up garden peas. Now, mashed garden peas, big hit for some ducks, but I don't know your duck. You really don't know mine, but you just want to make sure that you're giving it to them and that they are consuming the most amount possible. You don't want to force, because Sherrie Dee's like, she ate it all up, drank the juice and everything. I was like, wow, you got that whole dose in. Good for you, girl. So you can put it in, put like a little bit of the food on the plate. You can mix that powder in and they'll gobble it up. Don't give them too much food. Make sure that your proportions are right, because you want them to take and consume as much of the medication powder as possible. So you want to do that. Now, let me caution you right now, because this was told to us yesterday. Never, ever, ever put their medicine in their drinking water unless the vet tells you specifically to do so. The problem is they might not drink the whole thing, and then they're not getting the full dose that they need to get themselves better and healed up. So that's a word to the wise that came straight from the vet's office yesterday. And they're the pros, so I'm just helping y'all along your ducky recovery. Next thing's next is you want to have them some type of recovery area. I don't care if it's a recovery coop, a recovery barn, a recovery bathroom, a nest. You got to keep them safe and dry. What we did with Sherrie Dee is we have her in our bathroom, because I'm going to go in there 42 times during the day. I'm going to check her all the time, make sure she's okay, make sure she has her fresh water, make sure she's, doing what she's supposed to do as a little ducky duck. All right, because now my little patient, Sherrie Dee, is medicated, and I got to set up her little hospital room, because number one, this is the number one most important part to the recovery process. Got to keep them separated from the rest of the flock, because other ducks, they're going to peck at the injury. They might crowd them out of the food, and they can get like a whole lot of extra stress that comes along with flocks and ducks and chickens and all kinds of things. Plus, if you have a sick or injured duck, they're way more vulnerable to being picked on and getting other illnesses and additional injuries. Okay? Now, you can do this any way you wish. You can use dog crate, small pens in a quiet corners of wherever you need to put them. Just make sure you keep your eye on them often. The key is you got to make it calm, safe place, soft stuff. Give them their own food and a shallow dish for drinking, so they can stick their nares in, their little nose holes, their nares, and clean them out. So that part is important. And this next part is also vital. You got to keep your duck away from deep water. Number one, they have a wing injury, especially a broken one. It messes with their balance. Ducks need their wings to balance. So if they try to get into a pond or deep tub, they can lose their balance. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, your ducky duck can do the duck drown real quick. That is not good. So it's just simple, and it's just that serious to keep them away from large bodies of water. Just give them enough water to drink and dunk their little head in, but no more than that. Shallow bowls are perfect, okay? Once their wing is completely healed and the vet gives the okay, you can reintroduce them to their beautiful watery playground, whatever it may be. Kiddie pools, big ponds, lakes, streams, creeks, whatever it is. But make sure you have confirmation. And the only way you can confirm this is through x-ray. So you want to make sure that is what is happening. Now let's move on. You got the road to recovery. Yay, which is what you want. So just understand when you're dealing with ducks, although they are resilient little floofs, the road to recovery might be a little bumpy. But I will tell you this, ducks are way tougher than you think. You just got to be there for them. You got to be their little nurse and their advocate. Watch them closely. Make sure they're eating and drinking. Check on their wing. Make sure it's looking good and it's better and it's not worse. And remember, you got to give them lots and lots of gentle care, time, and love. A little bit of soft pets and talking to, that can go a long way in their healing process, so they see you as a help and not a danger, especially if your ducks are not friendly and they're skittish. I mean, we don't have that problem. Our ducks untie our shoes, they try to sit in our lap, they do all kinds of things. But again, I don't know your floof, okay? Then before you know it, you got all your little feathered, furry, funny friend back, and it's on its feet, waddling with the rest of them. It's just all part of Clucky Chronicles. The good, the bad, and the sometimes teary-eyed. But you got to understand, with patience, care, a whole lot of love, you can handle anything that life throws your way. That goes with any floof that you got. Any floof that you got. Now, with that being said, y'all please throw up some wonderful little prayers and some good vibes for our Sherrie Dee duck, that she can completely heal her wing in the next 4 weeks, and that she will be able to go back to her sisters and play in her pools and have a wonderful, wonderful time. Enjoy this wonderful podcast show. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Don't forget, we've got a large giveaway coming up to everybody who signs up for our monthly email on our newsletter that we have over at ChrissyOShow.com on the website. Make sure you got to be subscribed to the YouTube channel here at Chrissy O's Clucky Chronicles. And I tell you what, I heart y'all great big. Thank you for following us on this wonderful journey. We have a lot of things to talk about, a lot of education to go out there, and a huge shout out to our friend, Dr. Montgomery, the vet tech, and all the wonderful staff out there at Brentwood Vet Center in Wilson, North Carolina. So if you need to get out there to good old Wilson, or you live in the area of Wilson County or around the surrounding counties, do us a favor, go over there and tell them, hey, my floof needs some help. They'll help you out. They're fabulous folks. And I want to tell y'all this as we end this wonderful podcast show. If you can't be good babies, just be good at it.